Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Car Extra Racing 2 with BrogAutohaus. We are going to jump right into the action today with the Wanderer L30. You can see me jumping into a little qualifying run here for a top 32 competition. The nice little flick entry, getting out to that zone but leaving it early on zone 1, filling zone 2, having to handbrake to readjust a little bit for zone 3 there, and then zone 4 and 5 on the outsides. This track is really difficult, in my opinion, to run a really smooth, clean line throughout. And you'll notice that, the car is performing really well on these semi-slick tires, but I do wish that this Supra was just a little bit faster off the line drag racing, and I messed with the tune multiple times trying to change certain things to make it faster, and I just don't think that it's going to reach its full potential until I get an engine swap for it. But as always, if you're here for the tuning, that's going to be the last 5-6 minutes of the video or so, after we go through a little bit of analyzation on the qualifying here for the top 32 competition. So don't forget to like the video. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that subscribed to the channel and follows me. You guys are the best. You're the only reason I'm able to do this, and we're just going to keep on growing as we go. So thank you very much. As we jump in here, this is run number 3. A nice clean outside zone 1, getting out to outside zone 2. Little handbrake adjustment there for that inside clip to the outside. And they have those red lines on the outside where if you drift a little too far out, you'll get completely destroyed. You won't be able to complete the run with any sort of decent score. But after all that, qualifying wise, I didn't get as good of a score as I was hoping. I ended up in 4th place there, but after going through everything, I ended up further down. I'm up against somebody with 101 off the bat, and that means I'm behind by about 5 or 6 points, which means I need a crazy good chase on him. So first strategy, I want to get some points on the board for chase number 1. That's always kind of my way of approaching the chasing. I want to get points on the board with 1, get a little more aggressive with 2, knowing kind of what his line is and what he's doing, and then on 3, just absolutely send it and hope for the biggest score possible. As you can see on run number 1, he has a car that is much faster around corners than the current Supra tune I have on this thing. And I couldn't stick with him. I tried to maintain too much speed, ended up going too wide and hitting the corner. So now I know I need to kind of cut inside a little bit more on him, just given the speed difference. So attempt number 2, I did not get a good score on the board for attempt number 1. So I'm kind of back to square one. I want to get a good score on the board to at least throw out some good competition. So as you can see, I cut inside to maintain proximity. Really nice proximity on this outside zone, and then he handbrakes for the inside clipping point. Really smooth driving on his part in the lead position. I didn't see, then I ended up having that small bump collision, which I can't with those. It's barely a tap, and there it is. They end the whole run. They don't kind of let the cars bump off each other a whole lot. If the collision is literally the lightest thing in the world, they'll let it slide, but any more than that, it's completely out. It's almost like I'm chasing Taylor Holdown out there in Formula Drift, and he's just flopping on me every time I touch my tire to his door, just barely. So anyways, third run did not go well for me. I just really couldn't pull it together on this track. I don't know what it is. I haven't driven this track a whole lot, but let me know what you guys think of this track in particular, if you've done top 32 comps here, if you like certain strategies or what you guys do for it. But I ended up losing that tandem battle there for the top 16, but I did want to go and review his chase run on me and kind of see what the differences were and what he was good at. So he flicked in. Obviously, he has more speed than me on these corners, so he can maintain and keep up with me pretty good. He's really smooth in the chase position, I gotta say. He's clutch kicking, he's changing gears when he needs to, and kind of sticking in the right spots. Still not a perfect chase, but much better than mine. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about the body kits and tuning on the Wanderer L30, which is the Toyota Supra, the Mark IV Supra, before the new one was released just last year. And I have the Slide Performance kit on mine. I think this is kind of like a Super Doof kit. Again, correct me in the comments if you know exactly what it is, but there's also a Missile, which looks in my opinion, really bad. I don't like the fenders or anything on it. The street makes the front look like a freaking BRZ. I don't know why you would ever do that to a Supra, but to each their own. If you like this body kit, I guess go for it. The CBW is a really nice looking kit in my opinion, really wide. I almost did buy that kit. I like the extra fender flares in the front end. It looks really nice. R&T is kind of like the Fast and Furious body kit, I think, with the hood and everything like that. And then D-Master is like a super wide Rocket Bunny type deal. So really cool kits overall. I could switch to the D-Master, but I really like the slide performance with no wing, just kind of a cleaner look. So as we jump over to the tuning here, I do have this thing upgraded to Pro Drift 3. I don't have any engine swaps unlocked for it yet, but I'm really hoping that I can get the 2J swap, put out a little more power than what it currently does, even though technically it should have a 2J in it already. But for some reason, engine swaps actually do change kind of some of the horsepower maxes and everything. Like this thing's maxed out at 725 horsepower. As always, in the tuning workshop, you can find it under BrogAutohaus, as you see on the screen here. That'll be posted before the video goes live. So for the first couple days of the video, you will be able to get the tuning from the tuning workshop there. But I'll go through the settings here real quick and show you guys kind of how I have everything set up. So springs we have at 7.1 centimeters in the front with kind of a medium stiffness, pretty stiff on the front sway bar, and then 0.02 of wheel toe, negative 5.4 of camber, 10 degrees of caster, and 69% of Ackerman angle. The wheel divergence angle is only 60 degrees on this car. That's the max you can get, whereas some other cars go up to like 63, I think is the highest I've seen, maybe 65. But again, that's one of those things, correct me if I'm wrong. If you see a car that has more than 65 degrees, let me know. Bumps, rebounds, everything there. Now we're on the rear suspension, bumps and rebounds. We have negative 2 camber in the rear, 0.06 of wheel toe. Sway bar I have kind of in the middle, and I might need to loosen that up a little bit to maybe more like a 50. I felt like in the event I didn't have enough traction in the rear to get me going fast enough, and sometimes that sway bar can prevent that a little bit. If you loosen up the sway bar, it'll leave both tires on the ground a little bit more and help you through the corners. You can see my rear spring stiffness is at 83, and then spring size is at 7 even. I'm running a 19-275-30 in the front with a 19-285-30 in the rear. And this is something where I might get one of the other body kits to see if I can throw a wider tire in the rear to get a little more grip. This thing's just not quite fast enough. I want it to be a little faster off the line. As you saw, I kind of struggled off the line in the event to kind of drag race up to the first turn. So my transmission I have at 0.48 overall differential locking coefficient with a 420 gear ratio. And then I went down and adjusted 4th, 5th, and 6th gear to a 126, 115, and a 103. And I rarely use 6th gear in this car. It's only for like really big, long, extended tracks. Gear shifting delay as low as possible for sequential. 81% of the brakes shared to the front axis at 4,260 Newton meters. I have the front pushed out a little bit, 6.6 centimeters. That's for fitment, and 3.6 in the rear. Again, another fitment thing. Mass all the way down, center of mass all the way down as well. So we'll jump out on the track. I do have this thing on some semi-slicks, but it's just a really fun car overall. I think there's still a little room for improvement. I do want to see how it would perform with an engine swap. Or if you guys have a tune that works better for really drag racing off the line, I would like to see that as well. So that's going to do it for the Supra video today, guys. As always, I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps me in the algorithm. And for subscribing to the channel. We cracked over 3,000 really recently, and I really appreciate each and every one of you that follows me. It just it means a lot. And I'm shooting for 5K next, and then 10K after that. So hopefully we can get to 5K by the end of the year. That's kind of my goal right now. I think it's very doable. And if we get more than that, even better. So that's going to do it. Put your life in drive. We'll see you next time.